Again, this is another one of those instances where the road just does not feel like it will ever end. So I'm off the beaten path here on Hell's Hollow Road in Connecticut, and I've come across this field that looks to be some sort of industrial site, but it also appears to have been abandoned some time ago. I keep getting the weird feeling that I'm being watched and that there's literally something right behind me. It's very unnerving. All right, well, I know there's a good chance I shouldn't be here, but this is one of the most haunted roads in the entire state, if not the entire country, based on my research. So we're gonna keep moving forward. I just don't like the feeling here. This is just the beginning of the road, so I'm assuming there's a lot more to be had in the way of experience with this particular place. I was very uncomfortable walking through this section of the underdeveloped woods. What you're about to hear is a strange anomaly that I captured in way of audio, although I'm not sure if it actually holds any bearing. I want to submit it to you guys to check it out and give me your thoughts in the comments below. This particular lake has quite the legend surrounding it. Located in the state forest just off of Hell's Hollow Road, you can find this here, sitting in a very tranquil spot, a nice, easy, relaxing place to have a picnic at the park. But there's a lot of sordid history that purportedly occurred on these grounds, and unfortunately, it may have even involved the drowning of a young child. That being said, we have one particular woman of interest known as Maud, and there are many thoughts to who this person actually was, but her name continues to come up in this surrounding legend within the area here, and unfortunately she's tied into a lot of the darker moments that have been reported to have occurred at one time. Right now, I'm walking through the Pachaug State Forest, which is the largest state forest in Connecticut. One of the curious things about this particular loop of trails is that it spans 3.8 miles and encompasses whatever ruins and structures may have been here. Now, this is allegedly very haunted as well, and I have to say that being in this space, once again, I'm feeling these weird kind of cool pockets of air. Yes, we're in the woods, and you're going to find some of that amongst the different deciduous trees that are here. But by and large, these pockets are, I don't know. You feel like you're walking into the wall of coolness and you walk out of it. Allegedly, there were 2 sites that Maud's gravestone could be found at. The first was, I think, demolished by the local teenagers at one point or another, completely desecrated, and it was moved to another spot. Now, in looking into this, I don't see anybody who still knows where this grave is located. As far as I can tell, most of this has been overgrown and reclaimed by the forest. If the legend doesn't necessarily hold up, and the one known as Maud was actually a 2-year-old little girl who passed away from a certain illness, diphtheria, I think it was, then we have a couple things to look into, again, in the way of the legend of this place. Whenever I go out on these excursions to film these episodes for you guys, 90% of the time I'm by myself. And I find with that, I have some sort of hypervigilance when I enter a space like this Not that having somebody else come along disrupts that, but it's a different entwining of energy when you have other people. I'm always trying to be safe, making sure I don't stray too far off. GPS and cell service doesn't really work out in these sort of areas. So if you get stuck out here, you're stuck out here. While I've always been quite a fan of purportedly haunted roads, I've always had to look in a peripheral sense to the surrounding area to sometimes explain this type of phenomenon. Now here at Hell's Hollow, this particular road has an apparition of a woman who people have claimed they've actually hit with their vehicles, only to find no physical remains. By and large, if something traumatic occurs on a stretch of land or highway or road or otherwise, it's possible that the signature energetically could be imprinted there. Is that what we're actually seeing with some of these apparitions associated with very haunted places in way of vehicular travel?
It comes as no surprise to me that this story eventually led me to a graveyard. In fact, I was looking for Baby Maud's grave.
Just a quick word of advice for anybody who's curious about coming out to some of these locations and maybe bringing something home with them. And I don't mean in the way of spirituality, but maybe enjoy this leaf. Maybe enjoy a stick over here. Maybe you find a special stone. Be very cautious about taking things out of these particular locations, because there are many who will tell you that something happened in the way of the supernatural after they got this object into their home. And conversely, as soon as they eradicated themselves of this object, all the weird paranormal activity had stopped. So there's an interesting association between objects and possible paranormal activity. Right now I'm in the area that allegedly harbors the original burial site of Baby Maud. This is incredibly overgrown. Gonna be trailblazing, gotta be careful here. But the gravestone, or what's left of that, at least in the way I think of a pile of rocks, maybe just to commemorate, it's in here somewhere. But where? Now the story goes, again another version, is that when Baby Maud passed away, she was buried close to the home she grew up in, or was growing up in, I should say, so that her mother could always see her.
I have no idea what these nearly equidistant scratch marks are on this rock.
Well, here it is. I found the grave. This is really interesting. It's only a handful of steps away from that original foundation of the house. So this part of the story checks out as far as I'm concerned. I'm standing inside of the stone structure that was clearly a home or some sort of building at one point in time. I feel a little weird. You almost feel like you walk down into this ever so gradual slope here into different space. It's kind of soft, but at the same time it's sort of unnerving, if that makes any sense. I can feel like there was activity here, bustling, moving, life at one point. And maybe it's still here on some level. Just another one of these oddities that we experience when coming out to a place like this.
With the discovery of the memorial for Baby Maud, I felt accomplished, as these places are rarely easy to locate. Thank you all for joining us tonight on Dark Hour Paranormal. Until next time, stay inquisitive, stay critical, and stay balanced.